Shifting gears to basketball, Tuesday was Celtics Media Day at Arbach Center, and I've compiled a list of my favorite quotes from our players and Coach Mazzulla, just because I am getting very excited for the upcoming NBA season with our defending champion Boston Celtics. Now, the first quote I really liked is from none other than Jason Tatum. He was asked about Coach Mazzulla's message amid his ups and downs during the offseason, meaning the fact he did not win Finals MVP and the fact that he did not play in 2 of the Olympic Games for Team USA. Jason said, quote, "Joe was probably the happiest person in the world that I didn't win Finals MVP and that I didn't play in 2 of the games in the Olympics. So that was odd, but if you know Joe, it makes sense," unquote. I love this because this is a clear example of the fact that Coach Mazzulla sees opportunity for improvement in everything. He sees how Jason's feeling about not being Finals MVP, not getting to be a bigger part of Team USA's gold medal during the Olympics, and he knows this is motivation for Jason. It's going to make Jason be better and work harder. And I really think that's going to be the case. I mean, they know each other pretty well. They've worked together for a few years now, and I think this could be a great season for Jason Tatum with all of that in the back of his mind the whole year. The next quote is from Coach Mazzulla. He said, quote, "I wouldn't say I enjoyed the offseason. I enjoyed the parade. I thought the parade was a rather intense experience," unquote. Now, first of all, calling the duck boat parade intense is very funny, but also kind of true. I mean, when Boston celebrates a championship, they go crazy. So, I think it's not inaccurate to call it intense, but still a funny word to choose. But secondly, I love that he did not enjoy the offseason. No coach should enjoy the offseason. I don't care if you just won a championship or you just won 2 in a row or 3 in a row. You got to stay hungry, and if you don't stay hungry, you should be done. Now, the next quote is Joe Mazzulla further elaborating on the offseason. Quote, "The world tries to keep you attached to the past. The world tries to keep you attached to your latest success or your latest failure. And that's where people get stuck where they're in, is attachment. And so it was a balance of, I can't be attached to this past success. It would be the same as being attached to a past failure," unquote. Now, I think his wording there was a bit off, but the overall message is clear. You can't be defined by your success or your failure. You have to keep moving forward. So, I love that. I love that Mazzulla has that mindset. All of these quotes that he has are just crazy in the best way possible. The next quote is from Al Horford. He said, quote, "I don't think it was ever a question that I was going to not come back. I never put a limit on how long I'm going to play. I feel good and I'm very fortunate to be in this position," unquote. Now, of course, there was a lot of speculation that Al Horford could retire after this season, especially after the Celtics won a title. And I'm really glad that he never really considered that. He wants to keep playing for as long as possible. And, I hope he plays for 1 or 2 more seasons and maybe will win 1 or 2 more championships with him. I love him and I don't want to see him go anytime soon. The next quote is from Derek White. He said, quote, "My teeth are getting better. I had to go to the dentist on Friday. I got 3 root canals, so that was fun," unquote. Now, as you may or may not remember, Derek White chipped his teeth Game 5 versus Dallas. Now, the quote itself, it's not laugh out loud funny, but it shows his dedication. It shows what he's willing to go through to be ready for the season. I mean, it's not your traditional basketball injury, but 3 root canals, that is just very unfortunate. But I'm excited to see him back. I'm excited to see his teeth restored. I love Derek White. He's really a man of the people, so I appreciate what he's willing to go through for the Celtics. The next quote is from Jaylen Brown, and the context is that he was asked about not being included on the Olympic team this year and how he feels about starting a new season after all of that drama. He said, quote, "I'm extremely motivated for obvious reasons. I'm ready to get out there," unquote. Now, typical Jaylen Brown, pretty short and to the point, but again, it shows motivation. I love seeing both Jason and Jalen motivated for different reasons and united in purpose, so I hope that leads to some real fireworks this year. I really believe this season will be a very special one for the Boston Celtics. Not only was there drama with the Olympic team for both Jason and Jalen, but right now you're hearing a lot of media figures saying that the Celtics had a very easy title run. People are seriously saying things like, oh, the Celtics aren't going to be intimidating anyone this year. And it's just ridiculous, you know? The same people who uniformly picked Dallas to beat Boston in the finals are now saying that the Celtics had no real challenge in the postseason and that this year they're going to be clobbered because they're not up to the challenge. They're not really that great. They're overhyped, and when they face real competitors, they'll be done. To those media figures, I say, keep spewing that anti-Boston manure. See where that gets you. You'll just see a very motivated Celtics team destroying your team of choice, your superstar of choice, and perhaps a new era Celtics dynasty rising. I really believe Joe Mazzulla. Now, I love all of the players on our roster. I think both Jason and Jalen have the chance to be remembered as two of the greatest players of all time. That being said, Joe Mazzulla is the key to this team. I really see Joe as a crazy, intense genius of basketball. I think he's going to build a dynasty with Boston. You know, I'm not satisfied with 1 or 2 championships. I think there'll be up to 5, maybe even more banners hanging from the rafters when Joe Mazzulla retires from the Celtics. I really hope Joe Mazzulla gets to be a Celtics lifer. I think he is that much of a genius that we should just keep bringing him back as long as the wins keep coming in. I hope the Celtics organization recognizes the basketball mind they have in Coach Mazzulla, because a lot of great things are to come if we keep him around for years to come.